Hey everyone, welcome back to our channel where we make high quality, unique, deeply researched videos to help you become financially free. It's me. Today we will be talking about the difference between good debt versus bad debt. This is one of the most popular topics requested by you guys, and so here it is. We will talk about real-life examples, practical numbers and case studies that are relevant to people in the United States, Canada, Europe, and the rest of the world. Let's get into it. We want to present wealth management with a style that is educational, motivational, storytelling, and data-driven. Our goal is to empower you to build wealth by learning how the wealthy build, keep, and multiply their wealth through the power of knowledge. We share this knowledge in the form of practical examples, real-life stories, and numbers that can be applied to your own life, no matter where you live. So if you find value in today's video, please consider subscribing. What the wealthy call good debt, wealthy people don't fear borrowing, they treat debt like a tool. Instead of seeing loans as traps, they ask, will this money help me earn more than it costs? If yes, they call it good debt. Good debt is a planned move, borrow to buy things that produce cash or grow in value. Examples include rental buildings, a business loan to scale sales, or an education that boosts income. They also check the loan's timing, length, interest, and the people involved before signing. How it works. A clear example. Here's a clear example. You borrow $1,000 at 4% interest and invest it in stocks that average 8% per year. Each year you pay about $40 in interest, and you might earn around $80 from the investment. After covering the loan cost, you keep roughly $40 extra, a 4% net gain. This use of borrowed funds is called leverage. You use other people's money to magnify your returns. The key is to pick investments that are likely to beat the loan cost and to test ideas on a small scale first. Why it matters, and a warning: good debt can speed up wealth building because it lets you control more assets sooner. It can buy an income-producing property or help a business hire the people needed to grow. But good debt carries risk. Markets drop, payments rise, or plans go wrong. That is why careful people combine good debt with research, emergency plans, and limits on how much they borrow. When used with discipline, debt becomes a power tool. Used carelessly, it becomes a heavy weight. Know the math, mind the risks, and borrow only for steps that move you forward. Start small, learn, and build from wins. Good debt allows you to buy assets that will increase in value over time. The idea here is that you use debt to acquire something that will generate income or appreciate in value, like a rental property or a business. Good debt helps you diversify your income streams. When you take out a loan to start a new business or expand an existing one, you're essentially creating another source of income for yourself. If your current job isn't going well, you still have your business to fall back on. And that's a great thing because it's always a good idea to have multiple sources of income. Good debt gives you tax benefits. Interest payments on loans are often tax deductible. So when you take out a mortgage to buy a house, for example, you can deduct the interest you pay on that loan from your taxable income. This can save you a lot of money on taxes, especially if you're in a high tax bracket. How much debt is too much? There's no single answer that fits everyone. It depends on your income, monthly bills, credit history, and the kinds of debt you carry. Still, useful guardrails keep you from getting stuck. The Consumer Financial Protection Bureau suggests you spend no more than 36% of your gross monthly income on housing and no more than 43% on all debt payments combined. That total includes mortgage, car loans, student loans, credit cards, and other minimum payments. Those percentages aren't commands. They're a quick way to see if your budget is healthy or tight. Simple rules that help treat the 36-43 rule as a starting point, not a law. If you have steady pay, savings, and low-risk assets, you might handle a bit more. If your job is shaky, family costs are high, or you have no emergency savings, aim for much less. Attack high-interest debt first. Credit cards and payday loans drain your money fast. Build a 3 to 6 month emergency fund so a sudden bill doesn't force you to borrow more. Keep track of every dollar for a month. When you can see where money flows, you make better choices. How to decide for yourself? Do the simple math. Add up all monthly debt payments, divide that by your gross monthly pay, and compare the result to 43%. If you're over, choose one thing to change. refinance a loan, pay down a high-rate card, sell an unused item, or cut a regular expense. Remember, these numbers are tools. Your life goals, risk tolerance, and future plans matter more. If you need help, a nonprofit credit counselor can give free, clear advice. Start small, build habits, and protect your financial future. Good debt versus bad debt. The simple truth: good debt helps you make money. Bad debt eats your cash. Bad debt is what you take on to buy things that don't make money or grow in value, a car you drive until it dies, a big TV you never sell, or extra credit card spending on nights out. When a loan costs more than what you can earn by investing the same money, it's bad debt. That gap is where you lose money every month and year. The first red flag: interest beats returns. Here's a plain example so it sticks. You borrow $1,000 at 10% interest. That costs you $100 a year in interest. If you put that $1,000 into the stock market and it returns 6% on average, you'd make $60 a year. After paying interest, you're down $40 a year. That's a loss of 4% on the money you borrowed. That's why borrowing to chase small returns while paying big interest is usually a losing game. For quick signs your debt is bad, short checklist: 1. Interest higher than likely returns, like the example above. 2. It buys things that don't make cash or grow. Think clothes, vacations, gadgets. 3. Payments squeeze your budget, leaving no buffer for surprises. 4. It forces more borrowing, rolling balances, minimum payments, or payday loans. If you see one or more of these signs, treat the debt like a leaking bucket. Patch the holes. Pay off high-rate balances first, cut non-essential spending, and build a small emergency fund so one surprise bill doesn't send you back to high-cost loans. Debt that helps you build value can be useful. Debt that costs more than it gives you? Dump it fast. What is a liability? A liability is something you own that slowly eats value. It might be a car that loses its shine and market price, a phone that becomes outdated, or furniture that wears out. When you borrow money to buy these things, you pay interest for something that won't make money back. That mismatch, spending on loss instead of gain, is the first clue that the debt might be bad. Why borrowing for liabilities often backfires: imagine paying a monthly loan while the item you bought keeps shrinking in value. Your debt stays or grows, but the thing won't help you earn more or hold its price. That leaves you with less cash for surprises, fewer options if you need money, and rising strain on your budget. Interest keeps taking a slice of your income while the purchase becomes harder to sell. Over time, loans used for liabilities turn into a steady drain instead of a stepping stone. When the rule doesn't apply, the income test, there's a clear exception. If the purchase earns money, it can be sensible. A car bought to run a taxi, a delivery vehicle, or equipment for a small business can bring in cash that covers the loan. The simple question to ask before borrowing is, will this buy produce income or rise in value, or will it just cost me? If it produces income, treat it like investment debt. If it only costs, treat it as bad debt. When unsure, scale back, buy used, save a down payment, rent, or delay the purchase. Small, smart steps today build choices that move you forward instead of holding you back, and build financial choices that move you forward instead of holding you back. Start small. Save a cushion, compare loan offers, and say no to purchases that drain cash without return today. When debt buys your lifestyle, picture this. You take a loan to buy a luxury car or a vacation house because you want the look and the feeling. That kind of borrowing is lifestyle debt. It pays for wants, not needs. The thing you bought does not make money and usually loses value. You get short-lived joy, then months of payments. Over time, the cost adds up: interest, upkeep, insurance, while the item slowly drops in resale value. That gap between the cost and the value is where lifestyle debt quietly hurts your future. Why lifestyle debt is risky. Lifestyle debt strains your budget. When bills pile up, you have less left for real savings, emergencies, or investing. If your income falls or an expense pops up, lifestyle loans are often the first to cause panic. They also trap you in a loop. You borrow more to cover payments, and the debt grows. Interest and fees turn fun purchases into heavy monthly anchors. Unlike a tool that helps you earn more, lifestyle debt usually just makes daily life tighter and less flexible. How to stop and fix it. Start by asking one clear question before buying. Will this earn money or just use it? If the answer is just use it, pause. Save up, buy used, or delay the purchase. If you already have lifestyle debt, list all payments and target the highest interest one first. Cut small recurring luxuries, subscriptions, dining out, and funnel that money to pay down the loan. Build a small emergency fund so you don't borrow again when life surprises you. Over time, paying off lifestyle debt frees your income for things that grow your wealth, not just your image. If you can't cover the monthly payment, it's a red flag. If the monthly payment makes you sweat, that debt is probably bad. Loans should fit your budget the same way shoes should fit your feet comfortably. When you borrow money for something and you aren't sure you can make the minimum payment each month, you're stacking risk on top of risk. Missed payments bring fees, higher interest, and damage to your credit score. Small problems become big problems fast. The short thrill of a new purchase isn't worth months or years of stress. Why this matters: the slow squeeze. Think of high monthly payments like a hand tightening around your cash. The more you hand over each month, the less you have for food, for a doctor visit, or for fixing the car. That shortage forces people to use credit cards or payday loans, which are even more costly, to cover the gap. That creates a loop: more debt, higher payments, less freedom. Over time, you lose choices. You can't move, change jobs, or save because the payments follow you. That's why being certain you can afford a loan is more important than wanting the thing it buys. What to do instead? Safer steps before you borrow. Do the simple math. List income, bills, and the new payment. If it doesn't fit, say no. Better options: save for a down payment, buy used, or lease instead of buy. If you already have an unaffordable loan, act fast. Call the lender to ask for a lower rate, longer term, or hardship plan. Sell items you don't need and use the money to cut the balance. Seek a nonprofit credit counselor for free help if you're overwhelmed. The rule is plain: don't promise tomorrow what you can't afford today. Keep payments small, predictable, and safe so debt stays a tool, not a trap. I hope you found this introduction to debt helpful. Now let's look at some examples of good debt and bad debt. A student loan story. Picture this. You borrow $100,000 to pay for a university degree. You study hard, finish your classes, and land a job that pays $80,000 a year. Many student loans come with low interest and clear payment plans, so this debt can feel like a smart move. You used money to buy skills and access a higher salary. That gap between what you earn and what you owe makes the loan act like an investment in your future. When student loans act like good debt, a loan is good when it helps you earn more than it costs. Low interest rates and manageable monthly payments are important. If your degree opens doors to higher pay, raises, or steady work, the loan bought those chances. Good student debt lets you grow into a career without draining savings. It gives you time to build experience while you pay slowly. With steady income, a simple budget, and a repayment plan, you can pay the loan and still save. When the same loan turns bad, the same loan can flip to bad debt fast. If you graduate but cannot find a job, or you take low-paying work, monthly payments can feel crushing. Interest adds up while your wages lag. Missed payments hurt your credit and add fees. To avoid that trap, research programs and job outcomes before you borrow. Save a small cash cushion and choose schools with real career paths. If you struggle, contact your loan servicer about income-driven plans, deferment, or refinancing. Finally, weigh cost versus earnings and borrow only what advances goals now. Mortgage example: a doorway or a trap. Imagine borrowing $300,000 to buy a home. You put down $60,000 and finance $240,000 with a 30-year mortgage at 5% interest. That loan often feels good because payments can be steady and the house is a real thing you can live in or rent out. A common monthly payment for that $240,000 loan works out to about $1,288 per month for principal and interest. Add taxes, insurance, and upkeep, and your full housing bill will be higher, but many people find the total manageable. Why a mortgage can be smart: a home is a tangible asset. It can grow in value over years and give you stability. Buying forces you to save because each payment builds equity, the part of the house you own outright. When you can afford the mortgage, you borrow to control an asset that may appreciate. That makes the loan a lever for building wealth. Mortgages also often come with lower interest than credit cards, and you get predictable payments that fit long-term plans. When the same mortgage becomes bad debt, that good story flips when payments strain your budget. If rates rise, income falls, or unexpected repairs hit, the house can feel like a heavy load. A mortgage becomes bad debt when you can't afford payments, when you overpay for a property, or when you can't cover other bills because of the house. The safe play is clear. Buy within your means, keep an emergency fund for repairs, and avoid stretching to the edge of your income. Done right, a mortgage can be a steady step forward. Plan carefully, know the numbers, and treat the mortgage as a trusted long-term tool. Small steps today protect your options and help your future grow steadily. A clear picture. The numbers that matter: you buy a $30,000 car, put down $6,000, and borrow $24,000 on a 5-year loan at 7% interest. That loan works out to about $475 per month for 60 months. Over those 5 years, you'll pay roughly $28,514 total, which means about $4,514 in interest alone. Those sums are real. They come out of your paycheck every month while the car's value slides downhill. That gap between what you pay and what the car is worth is where trouble often starts. Why most car loans look like bad debt cars are liabilities. They lose value from the moment you drive them off the lot. If you're borrowing to buy something that won't earn money or hold value, you're paying for loss. A $475 monthly bill bumps up your fixed costs and shrinks the cash you have for rent, food, or an emergency. If the payment feels tight, one small shock, a medical bill or a job hiccup, can force you to cut essentials or add more debt. That's why standard car loans often act like a slow, steady drain on your finances. The one real exception: when the car earns for you, there is a clear exception. If the car is a tool that brings in cash. A delivery van, a taxi, or a vehicle used for a side business can pay its own way. If your car helps you earn more each month than the loan costs, then that debt becomes an investment. The rule is simple: borrow only when the purchase creates income or is absolutely necessary for work. Otherwise, save more, buy something cheaper, or wait. Cheaper, used cars and small loans keep your life flexible and your money working for you. The quick story: why credit card debt bites you. Buy $1,000 of clothes on a card and can't pay the bill in full. Carrying that balance month after month is expensive. Credit cards charge high interest, so the amount you owe grows fast even if you make small payments. That $1,000 can turn into a much bigger number in a year. For example, at a 20% APR, it becomes about $1,219 after 12 months. And at 24% APR, it becomes about $1,268. That extra cost is money lost to interest, not to things that help you build wealth. Why it's usually bad debt and how the math works. Credit card debt is usually bad because it funds wants that don't earn money and it carries heavy interest. Each month you pay interest on whatever you still owe, so if you only make the minimum payment, the balance drops slowly while interest keeps piling up. That makes simple purchases far more expensive over time. The bright side: credit cards can be safe tools when you pay the full balance each month. You get protection and rewards without cost. The danger starts when you don't pay in full. Smart moves: stop the trap and fix it. If you already carry card debt, attack the highest rate card first. Pay more than the minimum, sell and use stuff, and cut one recurring luxury and funnel that money to the balance. Call your card company and ask for a lower rate or a hardship plan. Sometimes they'll help. Use cards only for things that either you can pay off at month end or that will truly earn more than the interest, like a clear business expense. Bottom line: avoid borrowing for things that don't grow in value and treat credit cards like a short-term tool, not a long-term loan. Wrapping it all together, debt itself isn't the enemy. It's how you use it that makes the difference. As we've seen, student loans, mortgages, business cards, and even credit cards can sometimes fall on the good side if they help you grow income or gain assets. But those same loans can easily flip to bad if payments overwhelm you or if the money funds wants instead of needs. The key lesson: Always weigh cost against value and ask whether the loan will leave you better off tomorrow than you are today. Why your situation matters. Most no two people handle debt the same way. A mortgage payment that's comfortable for one family might be crushing for another. A student loan might open doors for one person, yet limit another. Your income, expenses, stability, and goals all shape whether a loan is smart or risky. That's why blanket rules don't work. General guidelines like
The 36-43 rule can help, but they're only checkpoints. Your personal numbers tell the real story.
the safest habit, caution first. If you're ever unsure whether you can afford a loan, the safest move is not to take it. Waiting, saving more, or borrowing less can protect you from years of stress. Debt should act like a tool, a hammer that helps you build, not like a chain that weighs you down. When in doubt, step back and give yourself time. It's always better to miss a flashy purchase today than to carry a heavy debt into tomorrow. Wise borrowing builds freedom. Careless borrowing steals it. Tip 1. Always check the monthly payment before signing any loan papers. Zoom in on the monthly payment. It's easy to get distracted by the big number, the total cost of the loan, but what really matters is whether that payment fits into your monthly budget without stress. Write down your income, subtract your fixed costs like rent, food, and utilities, then see what's left. If the new payment would eat up most of that, the loan is too heavy. A loan should never feel like a squeeze. If you're not confident you can cover it comfortably every single month, that's your signal to pause. Why this matters: missed payments don't just cost late fees, they can damage your credit score, raise your interest rates, and even make future borrowing harder. Think of the monthly payment as a test of balance. If you can make it while still saving a little and living your life, then it might be safe. If not, the risk is high. Borrowing should give you more choices, not fewer. A safer habit: when in doubt, run a stress test on your budget. Ask yourself, what if my income dropped a little? What if an emergency bill hit next month? Could I still make this payment without panic? If the answer is no, step back. Save a bit more first, look for a cheaper option, or delay the purchase. Taking this extra step can save you from turning what looks like good debt into a long, stressful burden. Tip 2. Steer clear of lifestyle inflation. When your income goes up, it feels natural to spend more. A bigger house, a nicer car, or fancier nights out. This is called lifestyle inflation, and while it feels rewarding in the moment, it can quietly trap you. The danger grows when you borrow money to fund those upgrades. A loan for a luxury car, designer clothes, or a vacation house might look manageable at first, but the monthly payments stack up quickly. Soon, the extra income you worked hard for disappears into bills instead of building your future. Why it's risky financing your lifestyle with loans often means committing money you don't really have. If your job changes, expenses rise, or interest rates jump, those payments can become unmanageable. Instead of enjoying your higher income, you end up chasing it, working harder just to cover wants instead of needs. Over time, lifestyle inflation leaves little room for saving, investing, or building wealth. It's like filling a bucket with water while drilling holes in the bottom. Tip 3. Watch out for teaser rates. Lenders know how to make a deal look attractive. One of their favorite tricks is the teaser rate, a low introductory interest rate that hooks you in. At first, the payment looks small and easy to manage, so you sign without much worry. But after a few months or a year, that rate often jumps much higher. Suddenly, your affordable loan costs far more than you expected, and you're stuck paying the difference. Why teaser rates are dangerous? The danger lies in the fine print. A credit card might offer 0% interest for the first 12 months, but jump to 20% afterward. A mortgage might start with a low adjustable rate, then reset higher, doubling your payment. If you only planned for the teaser rate, you can quickly find yourself underwater. Fees, penalties, and higher interest pile on, turning what looked like a smart move into bad debt. How to protect yourself before signing any loan agreement. Read beyond the bold numbers at the top. Ask, how long does this rate last? What will the new rate be? Are there hidden fees or penalties for paying off early? If you don't know the answers, don't sign. A safe habit is to calculate the payment at the highest possible rate and see if you could still afford it. If the loan only works at the teaser rate, it's too risky. By staying cautious and reading the fine print, you keep control of your money and avoid being surprised down the road. Way number 2, the debt avalanche method. This is another way to pay off debt that involves making minimum payments on all of your debts while making extra payments on the debt with the highest interest rate. Once the debt with the highest interest rate is paid off, you then roll that payment amount into the next highest interest rate debt and continue until all of your debts are paid off. Way number 3, balance transfer. This involves transferring your debt from a credit card with a high interest rate to a credit card with a lower interest rate. You can usually do this by opening a new credit card with a 0% introductory APR and then transferring your balance from your old credit card to the new one. Be careful with this option though, as it often comes with fees and high interest rates after the introductory period ends. Way number 3, balance transfer. This involves transferring your debt from a credit card with a high interest rate to a credit card with a lower interest rate. You can usually do this by opening a new credit card with a 0% introductory APR and then transferring your balance from your old credit card to the new one. Be careful with this option though, as it often comes with fees and high interest rates after the introductory period ends. There are many different ways to get out of debt. It really depends on your individual circumstances and financial situation. There is no one-size-fits-all approach. Thank you for watching. Please don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe. We would love to have you back for more videos.